Hello, everyone. Welcome to KidLit Meet and Greet. I'm April Berry. Today I am talking with Julie Hauswirth. I bet you've seen her online because I've seen her online all over the place, rocking the contests. Julie, my goodness, you're like the contest queen. So, Julie, welcome.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, all right. Well, first, thanks for having me. I am super excited. I always love when I get to connect with my KidLit people and meet
Mhm.
people like you in real life on Zoom. So this is really exciting. Thanks for having me.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, I guess a little bit about me. I am a writer and educator. I spent 10 years in education. I held various roles from teacher to curriculum designer. I took some time off from teaching when I had my second son, so I'm still currently on a little break. I have two boys. They are 10 and 3, so it's a really fun age gap between them that makes life interesting. But they're wonderful. And I live in Tampa with my husband and my two boys. I studied creative writing in college. So that was kind of always the direction I wanted to go in. That was my major. I have a master's in education, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Oh, that's all. I love the age gap between your kids. My oldest is 7 years older than my second, and
Oh, real? Oh,
it was a
okay.
really nice gap.
Yeah,
It's
I
almost like
have,
having a second parent for my
yeah,
middle child.
it has been really helpful. The big kid helps with the little kid, and there's a level of understanding there where he can just be like, "Whoa, okay, I need to walk away," or he can kind of help play with him, keep him occupied, and he can kind of take care of himself. And if I need him to do his own thing, he can do it. So it's been nice. It's different, but it's
Yeah,
it's great.
yeah. Um, wow, you have a quite the extensive background with education and children. Is that how you came to set your sights on becoming a kidlit author, or has that always been the dream?
Yeah, so I always wanted to be a writer. I knew always that I wanted to be a writer. And the KidLit part of it didn't really come around until I spent some time teaching. So originally I wanted to be a novelist, and I wrote in my 20s I wrote, the memoir, and all these things I thought I knew so much about. And it is funny, I came back to them recently, and maybe 10 years had gone by, and I go, oh, that's not good. um, so it is funny how that has kind of changed over time, where I've decided to maybe put adult novels aside and focus more on KidLit. And after working with middle schoolers really and high schoolers, I was like, oh, I just love their energy, and I see the books that they want and what they're looking for, and that we need more people to put those things out in the world for them. So I started writing with my eyes on books for older children, and eventually started shifting into picture books because that's where my boys kind of live. And we started by kind of telling stories, just between us, and it grew into this desire to reach more children than just my own two boys. So that's kind of how I shifted into KidLit.
Nice. And in the last couple months, I believe you've signed with an agent. Is that right?
Yeah, I did. I signed with my agent in at the end of January, maybe early February. I signed with my agent, CoCo Freeman. She's with the Linda Chester agency. She's absolutely fantastic. I'm still like pinching myself. I can't believe that I was able to take that step. It
Right.
feels a little surreal. It's very exciting.
Nice. What do you
Yeah.
like best about working with her?
Coco is great. She's very smart, not just on the business publishing side, but she knows her stuff when it comes to literature. She's a book person, and her passion for literature is really there. And so I find that we just kind of get one another. I feel like it's such a
Nice.
cliche to say, like, when we had the call, we just clicked, and I knew that she was the right one for me. But she just has a very keen editorial eye. And that was something I really wanted in an agent, someone who could help me grow my ideas and tell the story that I need to tell. And that's her. She has helped me take my work to the next level.
Oh, it sounds like you guys are a nice match.
Yeah, no, I really
Excellent.
got lucky. Yeah.
So now you're focusing on picture books. You
Yep.
used to have an interest in other genres. Do you think you'll be interested in moving into other genres again down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I have lots of ideas for adult contemporary fiction. I'm playing with a contemporary YA novel I've written a
Mhm.
few chapters of. It's very slow going though, because I think my heart really is with picture books. So yeah, I have ideas for some middle grade, kind of just keeping in the contemporary realm. I don't know if I could go into fantasy or horror or anything like that, but I do have ideas. And I think that that's what's so fun about writing is that,
Yeah,
you can be called in many different directions.
there's so
Um,
many possibilities.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll see what the future holds. And the nice thing is that Coco represents a very wide array of genres. And she would be willing to work with me in other genres too if I decided to go in that direction.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Where do your ideas come from for your books?
Oh gosh. So, it's funny. Sometimes I have so many ideas, I don't know where to start, and sometimes I have none. And I hit these dry spells. And I feel like I'm in a dry spell right now where new ideas for picture books are just not hitting me. So when that happens, I usually look to some of these KidLit contests I find help me come up with really fun ideas that I can expand into something bigger. Um, I like to do different writing exercises where maybe I'll look at, a word, an object, and an emotion, and then maybe I'll just kind of free write from that. And
Oh,
then
that's
I
interesting.
use my kids. Yeah, I love looking up different little activities, like ways to get started and then see if it develops into anything. So that's helpful when I'm hitting these creative dry spells. But yeah, I look at my boys and I look at what are they going through right now and how did that feel when I was their age? And, can I connect with that? I have an idea for a book about the day that my son in first grade skipped school to play on the playground and, and got caught 2 hours later. And, and what was that like for him? All the
Yeah,
doors closed and the bell rang and he was like, I'm going to go to the playground. So,
that would be
so
a really
that's,
cute
yeah.
book.
I have to figure out the right way to tell it and where to access it from. But I thought it would be pretty funny because, what do kids think of in those moments that take them in
Yeah.
a direction? So um yeah, I think that's, the best things I find really come from ideas that I can really connect with on an emotional level, whether it's
Mhm.
humor or whatever it might be. If I can't connect with it, it doesn't really turn into anything. So that's what I try to look for the most.
Nice. What would you say is like your ideal atmosphere for writing?
You know, ideally somewhere where I can be outside, where the weather is nice and cool, and I can have a cup of coffee and it's quiet, and I just have this unlimited time to write. But I haven't had that environment in like 20 years. So, in like a realistic world, if I just have some place that is quiet and comfortable, and I have the time to really just take my time with something, that's where I'm going to find that my ideas will flow. But yeah, if I had the perfect day, someplace outside, nice and cool, not like the Florida weather that I'm constantly stuck
I
in,
was
too
just
hot.
thinking she's in Florida. I wonder
I
how many
know.
days she gets like that.
We have a nice time between like January and February. That's our winter. And that's when it's nice to be outside. Other than that, it's just hot all the time.
I bet. I bet. What do you like best about writing?
The act of writing itself to me is just peaceful. It gives me time to turn off from everything that's going on around me and just kind of listen to my mind and let my thoughts go where they need to go. And I'm not thinking about my calendar and all the chores that need to be done. And it's just this peaceful thing. And then I get to share it with my kids. So I have this like private time all by myself. And then I run it by my kids. Hey, I have this idea. And then they'll sit with me and we have that together. So I like that. I like that it can be something just for me, and then it turns into something that's for more than just me. I think that's probably
Yeah,
my favorite part.
love that. That is a nice part about writing. I like that.
Yeah, it's like you don't want it to be just, I can't keep it all to myself. But I do like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
home. I'm constantly busy with my kiddos. So the act of creating it is kind of solitary, but then you take it beyond that and it's something you get to share.
Nice. So, Julie, you do a lot of KidLit writing contests, I've noticed. I went on
I
your
like
website.
contests.
I went on
They're
your website. I was like,
fun.
wow. Because I knew I'd seen your name on a few lists. I was like, wow, she does that do a lot of contests.
I've had a very lucky year. I've had a very fortunate couple months where things that I've put out there just resonated with other people. But I've also had a lot of no's with the contests too, and they're just fun. They're just enjoyable. I have a good time doing them.
How do the contests benefit you as a writer?
They help me come up with ideas, and that's why I keep doing them because there's some of the best ideas that I've had have come out of contests or challenges even. My favorite one is Susanna Hill's May mini mix and match, which I don't know if she's doing this year. But last year, I think I had 4 different stories come out of that challenge.
Oh,
That
nice.
Yeah, and one of them is the story that ended up helping me get my agent. And I I just sometimes struggle with coming up with things that are fresh and new. And so these contests, because they have all these silly little challenges to them, like you must use this word or it must be about this theme, it helps me come up with something and make it unique and give it a little spin. So I just think it's fun. And then I love connecting with all the other writers. I love cheering each other on and reading each other's work and sharing our stories on social media. I just think it's such a great way to connect and kind of hone our craft by seeking our community. So
Yeah. You're a good cheerleader for others. I've
thanks.
noticed. When we set up this interview, I was like, yes, I'm going to meet Julie.
Oh,
Because we've interacted so many times on Twitter, but
I
we've
know.
just never
And
actually
I feel the
connected
same.
outside.
I feel the same way about you. I'm like, oh, I gotta go meet April. So
Woo! Best day ever.
I know, I love it.
So you have a passion for writing, we know. Do you have other creative outlets, interests, hobbies?
Yeah, I've always been a fine arts person. So if it's not writing, it's music. I love music. I play the piano. And right now I'm teaching my oldest son how to play the piano.
Oh, how is
Um,
that going?
it's fun because he actually wants to do it. I tried to start teaching him when he was like 6, and he was like, he wanted nothing to do with it. And now he came to me and said, I want to learn how to play the piano. So since he's
Oh.
interested and it was his idea, it's fun because I don't have to force him to practice. I don't have to force him to pay attention. He's eager to do
Mhm.
it. So that's fun. And that's another thing that we're able to connect on is the love of music there. So yeah, I play the piano. I was a singer for a very long time. I am classically trained. Uh,
Wow.
Sounds fancy, but it just means I can sing, the opera style and I don't really use that as much anymore, just because I don't really have the time for it, but that's something I love to do. So I sing a lot in the shower and in the car.
I
My
do
son will
too,
be
but
like,
I am
shh.
not classically trained.
I definitely think like the pool guy caught me once singing like really ridiculous like opera style in my house when no one was home, and that was really embarrassing. But it is what it is. It's fun.
Love it. Any particular projects that you're super excited about right now?
I have a couple things that I'm excited about right now that I can't really share
All
details
right.
on. So I have to wait. Maybe check back with me in the summer or early fall. Yeah, I have a few things in the works. The thing that's taking my creative energy right now is trying to decide if I want to pursue this novel that I've had this idea for. So that's kind of where my where my energy is at the moment.
Mhm.
And I am excited about it because it's different than picture
Right.
books. So that makes it challenging and fun. Trying to figure out if that's, a dream that I want to chase or not. Um, but yeah, that's kind of it. It's just kind of seeing the next steps here that I have coming my way and tackling a new challenge.
Nice. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out writing?
I think the biggest piece of advice, and someone gave this advice to me and I ran with it, is to find the community and lean on it heavily.
Yeah.
um, is it's just finding other writers that we can learn from and count on, and people who can support us and guide us. I think that's the best thing. It certainly has been the best thing for me. I have amazing critique partners who have really molded who I am as a writer. And I don't know that I would have any of the success I've seen without them.
Hmm.
That, and I think, the other thing would be to try everything, like enter all the contests, query all the agents, like just do all of the things, because the more opportunities you take, the more likely you are to see success at some point. You're
Right.
not going to get it if you don't try. So, and I think too, it makes it easier to deal with hearing no or pass. The more you put yourself out there, it eventually, and that might not be true for everybody, but in my experience, yeah, it definitely turned into like, got another no. Just I put another query out, or I would enter another contest, and every time I heard no, I would try again. And
Nice.
it for me, it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, it did work out. I have a huge appreciation for people that can do that. I would get a couple no's and be like, all right, I'm going to shut down for a couple months. Maybe I'll try
Yeah,
again in a couple months.
and I think that the music part of my life kind of prepared me for this, because I've done a lot with music when I was younger. I got a lot of no's, and I had to really learn to just deal with it, because it didn't mean that I wasn't good. It just meant that there were thousands and thousands of people who
Right.
were just as good, and it doesn't diminish what I'm capable of, but it's just hard. There's a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, over time, I just had to kind of learn, all right, try again. I tried out for American Idol 3 times. And each time I got like one step closer to the yes, because they don't tell you that you have to try out like multiple times. And each time I got a little bit further. Um, and I feel like that is kind of like querying, like you get a little farther and then you're, set back, and you get a little bit closer and then it's another pass. And so I think that's just made it easier, is that I've experienced lots of rejection, and so it made it easier to get through.
Cool. That does seem like very relevant advice. Very relevant to querying. Let's see, what else? Oh, is there anything that you're obsessed with these days? Something you just can't live without?
I don't know. I feel I feel like as a mom, I pour so much into my kids that like I don't give myself time to obsess over things.
Yeah,
And the thing that I have let myself obsess over is writing. Um,
right.
I guess if I had to pick something, I'd probably say I'm super into Bridgerton, and I'm really excited for the next of
Yes,
Bridgerton. So,
same.
yeah, Bridgerton got me through when my youngest son was a baby. Like that was my thing that I would turn to. So I'm excited about that. Um, yeah, I think that's kind of it. I'm pretty boring. I'm obsessed with coffee, but who isn't? I feel like everybody is. I
Fair
wish I had a
enough.
better answer.
Fair enough. And then the next question is my father-in-law's favorite question. Um, because I always ask, if you could be any animal, what animal would you be? And then when he talks to me about my interviews, he says, "Oh, the one that wanted to be a manatee, or the one that wanted." So my father-in-law would like to know, if you could be any animal, what would you be?
Any animal, I would probably want to be something that flies.
Ooh,
Yeah, but something sturdy. Be like, I don't know.
elephant with wings.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, something, yeah, I'm thinking like a condor, like a really, I don't want to get blown away, but I don't know, maybe something that flies, or else I'd want to be something like a dolphin, where I could swim really fast and jump and play and interact with other animals, I guess. Yeah.
I think a dolphin life would be a fun life for the most part.
Yeah.
They just seem like they have these bubbly personalities.
They do. They're very fun, and they get
Mhm.
along with it. everybody. So
All right. Julie, the Condor Dolphin.
condor dolphin or flying dolphin. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, it works. Julie, tell everyone where they are most likely to find you online these days.
So I have a website. It's a very long URL though. So maybe I don't know if maybe I share that with you and you can share that out with the interview maybe. But I do have a website. You can find a link to my website on my Twitter. So
There
I'm
you
on
go.
Twitter at Julie House Writes, and it's House Haus, Julie House Writes, and it's the same on Instagram. I'm learning how to use Instagram. I made like my first reel the other day, and that was super fun. I feel like such a dinosaur with social media. So I'm most active on Twitter, and then I'm trying to learn Instagram as well. So that's where if anybody wants to connect, I'd love to connect there. Got my website, and yeah, that's it.
Excellent. I feel like Twitter is like for writers and Instagram is for artists, visual
Yeah, yeah.
artists.
I'm like, nobody wants to see a picture of my library stack over and over and over again.
Right.
So yeah, I'm still getting used to that. The whole like video thing is new to me. Yeah, I just feel like I'm turning into an old lady because I don't get all the apps that the kids are on these days. But yeah, Twitter's a great place for everybody to connect. And I feel like even though the website has been dying lately, I think the author community there is still pretty strong. So
I think so too. I feel like
yeah,
it's reviving a little bit at this
yeah,
point.
yeah, I think so too. So yeah,
Well, Julie, it was a pleasure to meet you in person.
yeah, same.
And
Thank you so
thank
much
you.
for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. And
I'm really glad we got to chat.
me too. And thank you to the viewers. And I'll talk to you offline in just a second, Julie.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.